This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
Now at 10, breaking news. An emergency evacuation at a condo complex in Waukesha.
2 evacuated at 3:07.
Officials say there is an imminent threat of the building collapsing.
I had 3 or 4 officers and a fireman help me grab a bunch of stuff because my suitcases were really heavy.
In the night, children and adults told to grab what's important and get out fast.
I just hope everyone's all right.
Our live coverage from Waukesha starts now. Firefighters spent the last couple hours evacuating that 48-unit condo building that they say is in danger of collapse.
This is happening at the Horizon West condominium building along West Avenue, just north of Dunbar Avenue. 12 News' Caroline Reinwald joins us now. And Caroline, crews told people in nearby buildings to get out as well.
That's right. I'm at Dunbar and West. You can see here behind me when I step out of the way. This is the high-rise condo building. Like you said, Joyce, those houses on either side of it have also had to evacuate. According to the city of Waukesha, an independent structural engineering report said that the building is at an imminent threat of collapse due to compromised conditions of existing structural columns. The city said the moment we became aware of these issues this evening, we put an evacuation plan into action. We know that there are 48 units inside this building. Everybody had to get out. They had one shot to grab as much as they could in one trip. They were not allowed back inside. They were not allowed to come back at any point tonight. And there is no word on if they will ever be allowed to come back inside. Listen to what a couple of people told us earlier.
It was a one-trip thing.
They wouldn't allow you to go back in and get more stuff.
No, but what they did allow me to do, thank God, is do a real quick video of my whole unit so I can show my insurance agent what I have to leave behind, and I lose all of it. I'm still in shock. Okay, it hasn't even sunk in yet that I just now got evicted from a condo I bought 7 years ago, and I can never come back.
There's something about a center beam that is no longer structurally sound, which I take to mean that I don't know if we're going to be able to go back, kind of a deal. So yeah, we got as much out as we could, and I was able to get our cat out, and I don't know if I have socks, but I'm pretty sure I have my Packer jersey. So, you know, there's that.
The residents of these condos tell me that they recently had to spend quite a bit of money to get the balconies fixed that were not allowed to be, they were not allowed to be on those balconies for a while now. They were not structurally sound, so they're not sure if that's what might have led to this. We're working to get more information from authorities here, but for now, nobody is allowed back in that building. Joyce, Patrick.
All of this unfolding around 8 o'clock tonight. Caroline Reinwald reporting live.
Courtney Sisk continues our live team coverage now. And Courtney, evacuees are making their way to a hotel.
Patrick, that's right. We are at the Baymont Inn right now off of Moreland Boulevard. This is where first responders are relocating a lot of people right now. This is about 3 miles away from the Horizon West condo building. Take a look. You can see cars just piled into this parking lot here, parking in spaces that are not actual spaces, just trying to get in. Residents are telling us there are about 60 rooms that are reserved for them, but they were asked to stay with family if family does live close enough. It's a mad dash right now inside to try to get a room. A first responder said that they went door to door to get everybody out. No one was allowed to stay in. A lot of people out here with their dogs and cats, not sure when they're going to be able to go back in. Now, you just heard from Caroline some information about the balcony repairs. There was balcony construction going on. Some residents here told us that each unit had to pay about $12,000 to have the balconies removed. So we do know that there was construction going on. Take a listen to what some people had to say about their experience tonight.
There was pounding on the door, and we opened the door, and they're like, it was the police. You have 10 minutes to get out. You're being evacuated.
Did they tell you why?
The building was condemned.
Oh my God. And what was going through your mind as you listened to that?
Well, I can't swear, but like a holy
yeah.
So it was scary.
Right now it's a lot of shock. Like, what the hell? We just paid $12,000 to have the balconies repaired, and now they're saying that that's probably what's like making it inhabitable.
Now, there's no information on exactly what caused this from officials. Residents who are at the inn right now are not sure when they're going to be able to go back, if they'll ever be able to go back, and what's next for them. They're hoping to hear something tomorrow.
A lot of uncertainty. Courtney Sisk reporting live.
Firefighters radioed to each other as they went room to room clearing units.
Room 401, we cleared 2 people. Room is now clear. Room 406, we cleared 2 people. Room is now clear. Room 404, we cleared 2 people. Room is now clear.
So let's recap what's happening tonight. Waukesha firefighters started evacuating the Horizon West condo building near West and Dunbar tonight because of deteriorating structural conditions. They say a structural engineering report shows the building is in imminent danger of collapse due to damage on the structural columns. This building has 48 units. Authorities are also evacuating 2 nearby houses that are in the possible collapse zone.
If we get any new updates on this breaking story, we'll post them in the 12 News mobile app. And you may recall in June, a 12-story apartment tower in Surfside, Florida, partially collapsed in the middle of the night. 98 people died. Workers later demolished the rest of the building. Multiple lawsuits have been filed in that case. Investigations into the collapse are ongoing.
Taking a quick look at weather after a beautiful but windy day in the 50s, a wintry mix is closing in.
Mark, the timing is not good.
Now, the timing's all about the morning commute, and so there may be some slippery spots out there. And you can see we've got 2 different things going on. Of course, the rain in green, the snow in blues and whites, and that will continue to make its way here into southeastern Wisconsin. None of this touching the ground yet. It's going to take a while before we saturate things, but I do want you to be aware with temperatures going to be right around freezing. That wintry mix may make a few places slippery, especially in our northern counties. Otherwise, as the day goes on, it gets quieter. The main event is between about 1 a.m. and 10 a.m. Impacts some slick spots out there. This is not our only chance for rain and snow. We'll time out other chances coming up in Weather Watch 12.
Well, right now, the Delta variant remains the dominant strain of COVID-19 in Wisconsin, driving up cases and hospitalizations.
More people are hospitalized with COVID in Wisconsin now than at any other time this year. Take a look at the spike. According to the Wisconsin Hospital Association, there are 1,446 people with COVID hospitalized statewide. 698 are on ventilators.
Statewide, 97% of intensive care beds and 98% of intermediate care beds in our hospitals are currently in use.
On a single day here in Green Bay, one of our hospitals had to say no to 28 patients being transferred in that needed them, including 3 strokes.
A West Bend woman died of COVID in a hospital earlier this week. Adrienne Chandler was just 38 years old, and she died days after giving birth to her 4th child. 12 News' Courtney Sisk reports Chandler never got to meet her newborn son.
This is Adrienne Chandler, a mother of 4 from West Bend.
Very family orientated, would go above and beyond for any of her friends.
Her ex-husband and father to 3 of her kids says she was a social butterfly, loving and generous. And as a mother,
absolutely devoted.
COVID cut the 38-year-old's life short just days after giving birth to her 4th child.
It's been like an emotional roller coaster.
We also spoke with Adrienne's current boyfriend and father to the newborn over the phone. He said she got COVID and needed to be hospitalized. Doctors intubated her and performed a C-section to save baby Roman. After the surgery, they transferred her to Ascension Columbia St. Mary's in Milwaukee, where she died 3 days later, leaving behind that loving family, a newborn, and 3 other children, all younger than 12 years old.
On Tuesday, when I had to tell him, was probably about the worst day of my life. I'm just here to support the kids as best I can and help them transition and move on in their life without their mother anymore.
He says she was usually the one in the community to lend a helping hand.
Would always extend a helping hand if somebody was in trouble and help any way she could.
Now the community returns the favor. Friends set up a GoFundMe for the kids to help with future needs and care.
I think she knew she was loved, but I don't think she knew in the capacity that it was.
Courtney Sisk reporting. The family says the newborn is healthy. It's not clear how Chandler contracted COVID or if she was vaccinated. We do have a link to the family's GoFundMe page on our website, WISN.com. Wisconsin's Department of Health Services' latest update shows more than 5,000 new COVID-19 cases. That's the highest single-day total all year. The state's 7-day case average is at 3,015, and that is a 62% increase from 1 month ago.
Tonight, family, friends, and loved ones said goodbye to an 8-year-old boy who died in the Waukesha parade tragedy. Jackson Sparks was the youngest of the 6 people killed when the driver of an SUV plowed through the Waukesha Christmas parade last month. Jackson's visitation and funeral took place tonight in Mugwanago.
Leaders at Brook Life Church say hundreds of people filled the church.
Showing the support of our baseball team for him, I think it's going to mean a lot. Not only for us, but for the family, just to see how much support they really have.
They've been grieving, and it's been a very hard process. But I think the amount of support they've received has really helped them go through this. It's been overwhelming. I think the amount of support they've received, and it's made it a little easier at times to go through something like this.
Family is planning a private burial tomorrow. Organizers are asking people to wear baseball jerseys to work or school tomorrow in memory of Jackson. The Jerseys for Jackson push has gained steam on social media. The Milwaukee Brewers and several players have said they will also participate.
The suspect in the attack, Darrell Brooks, posted $1,000 bail in another criminal case just days before the incident. Milwaukee County's district attorney answered questions today about why his office recommended bail he now says was too low. John Chisholm told county supervisors his prosecutor was overloaded with cases. He says she didn't use a critical risk assessment report that would have told her Brooks was high risk.
She did not have access to that public safety assessment. It's not because it wasn't done, it just hadn't been uploaded into our case management system. Given the volume of cases she was dealing with, given her jury trial that she was working on, she simply charged the case. She looked at the previous bail, saw that it was $500, and she doubled it. That's it. That's a mistake. That's human error.
Why wasn't it uploaded?
That's another thing that we have to just look at. So I don't have a really good answer to that.
12 News asked Chisholm if any action will be taken against the prosecutor who recommended the bail. He said he could not discuss personnel matters. The United for Waukesha Community Fund has raised more than $3 million for the victims of the holiday parade tragedy. 12 News investigates the push to make sure those donations get to families in need.
And tonight is not our only chance at rain and snow, and we have at least 3 more rounds. Next in Weather Watch 12.
And we want to take you back out live to the Horizon West condominium building. The Waukesha Fire Department has ordered everyone to evacuate because of a, quote, imminent threat of collapse. 12 News is at the scene tonight. We'll bring you updates on air and online as soon as we get them.